Good day, everyone. It is Monday, March 11th. Welcome to the weekly Mozilla Project meeting, where we cover topics from all across the Mozilla Project. As we do here, we open with Friends of Mozilla. The developer outreach team would like to give a big thanks to Mozilla Tech speakers, Daniele, Giannis, Aya, Yamama, Yuli, Santosh, and Karthik, who gave talks this past week around the globe. Also, they would like to wish safe travels and good luck to tech speakers Irene, Shagufta, Rajima, Felipe, and Juliana, who will be speaking to developers around the globe this coming week. Let's hear a big round of applause for our tech speakers. The add-ons team would like to thank Martin Geiger and Tom Jovanovic for helping extension developers troubleshoot their code. Always welcome. We appreciate our add-ons helpers. Let's give a round of applause for Martin and Tom. We have one listed event on the calendar for this week, and that is Wednesday, March 13th, with the add-ons community meeting at 8:30 a.m. in the ACE video room. This is your opportunity to come together with staff and contributors to discuss all things Mozilla community related with add-ons. Again, you can join us at 8:30 in the ACE video room on Wednesday, March 13th. And with that, we move on to speakers. And the first speaker up is me with your weekly Firefox update. Firefox 65.0.2 is our current stable release. 66 is in the beta channel and ships to stable next week on March 19th. Tomorrow we push the first release candidate live. Firefox 67 is in the nightly channel, and that ships out on May 14th. Today is the beginning of our soft code freeze, and over the last week there have been about 570 bugs resolved as fixed, including these notable ones. A change to our extensions world. Any new extension added to Firefox will not be enabled by default in private browsing mode unless you allow it in settings. You should get a notification in your Firefox when you update to the build with the change. To allow extensions to be added to private browsing, go to the add-ons manager and opt in for those extensions in private browsing. DevTools got the much requested column resizer for the request list. Now you can see the full URL of those requests much easier. Dynamic module imports has been set to ride the trains. This has been enabled in nightly for a little while, but the switch was flipped so that it will ride the trains with 67 to release unless anything major comes up. Continuing work to make the main toolbar accessible, it's now possible to activate the browser toolbar overflow panel from the keyboard, and the download button is also keyboard accessible. The contextual feature recommender template has been updated with a new UI that'll give a new look for any of the contextual feature recommender features. The David AV1 decoder has been enabled by default on Windows. It's real exciting news for those people working on that decoder. I hear it's got performance and CPU usage improvements. Gecko now supports the CSS revert keyword. This allows authors to ignore all CSS rules in a given Cascade origin while applying rules from other Cascade origins. The new tab page got some improvements, including a pref opt-out of the contextual feature recommender, dark mode support, context menu support, and the CFR for pin tabs is now available. We've added an import option to the file menu to make browser migration more discoverable. It was always available from the bookmarks library window, but that wasn't easy to find. So now from the file menu, which you get at holding down the Alt key on Windows, you'll see an option to import settings from another browser. And finally, the permission selector for block autoplay is now keyboard accessible. That's it for this week's Firefox update. Next up, we have Jack, Principal Research Engineer, coming to us with the Emerging Technologies Weekly Update.
Hey everyone. This week, Diane Hausfeld published part 3 of her blog series talking about safety in Rust. This one specifically covers quantum CSS and sort of dives into the question of what kinds of bugs could Rust prevent and what kind of bugs does it not prevent. So if you haven't been keeping up with that, I highly recommend you go read this new installment and also the previous ones if you haven't. Next up, the Deep Speech team has a pull request to integrate Deep Speech into the Android speech library, which is the library that Firefox Reality uses for voice control. This is the first step to getting local voice control on device, so we're not sending people's voice to the clouds through third-party APIs. And then last up, Common Voice 2.0 was released last week, which is the largest public domain transcribed voice data set, which now has 18 different languages in it, 1,400 hours of recorded speech from over 40,000 contributors. So there's a great blog post up you can see linked in the notes. And we're on the way to hopefully a lot more languages and a lot more voice hours recorded there. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks for the update. Exciting stuff coming from emerging technologies. Next up, we have Andrew coming to us with the IT Minute.
Minute update where we tell you all the things IT is doing to empower Mozillians in their mission to keep the web a global public resource, open and accessible to all. This week's minute is 5, count 'em 5, updates strong. First off, an update from AV Ops on the event board experiments. This is week number 4 of running the Zombie Meeting Hunter experiments. There's a ton of great feedback coming in the Pound Event Board Experiment channel on Slack. Let's keep it up. Additionally, the Air Mozilla survey that's been running for the last several weeks had 300 survey respondents. Thanks for all your feedback. The AirMo team will share some of the aggregated numbers on that with you all very soon. If you missed the survey, feel free to reach out in the Pound Air Mozilla channel. Next up is an update from Business Operations Support Services. Have you ever bought something at Mozilla that requires things like contracting, legal review, or security reviews? If you have, you've probably used a platform called CASA to do that. IT will be working directly with CASA over the next several weeks to integrate that with accounting softwares like Bill.com and Intact to streamline the process and hopefully save you time when you're purchasing. Finally, an update from the Connected Workplaces project on the NewbieBot. It will now notify Mozillians about upcoming holidays that are specific to that Mozillian's home region, as well as provide statistics on thumbs-up ratings back to the project team. And that's the minute. See you next week.
Thank you, Andrew. Next up, we have Eugene from Open Innovation on an internal crowdsourcing competition.
Thank you, Isa. Open Innovation has launched an internal crowdsourcing competition titled Can You Hear Me Now? Its purpose is to generate ideas on voice interaction that are important to consumers but are not home, work, or car related. As you all know, Mozilla is engaged in the development of voice-related products and technology, and it's very important for us to identify market space where Mozilla can play and win. And this competition is part of this larger initiative. The competition is posted on Mana, and last Thursday around 3 p.m. Pacific, I sent a mock-off email with all relevant links. If you miss it, this link is in the spreadsheet, and you also can go to the Slack channel, Can You Hear Me Now? And you'll find all necessary information there. I strongly encourage you to take part in this competition. We do want to hear your voice about Mozilla Voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugene. And last but not least, we have Katie and Nick with a monthly Pocket update.
Here we go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Katie Wright. This is Nick Chapman. We're with Pocket, and we're here to give you a monthly Pocket update. As you probably know, and if you don't, our mission is to empower people to consume stories that are worthy of their time and attention. Today, Pocket is really about saving and reading at your convenience. It's a home where users can capture the things that fascinate them so that those things can become what power them, what inspire them, and what inform them. And Pocket is also evolving with a greater focus on content discovery. More and more, Pocket will be shining a light on exceptional content from across the web that will fuel people's mind. And one place we will see that is on the Firefox New tab.
Yes, New tab. All right, so many of you are familiar with Pocket on the Firefox New tab. So if you are in the US or Canada or Germany, you see some Pocket stories on your New tab, and this is what they look like today. as part of this year, we've really been looking at how we can expand that. Like Katie was saying, like how does discovery become even fuller in this experience here? And what we want to do is by the middle of this year, really be helping Firefox users discover more great content on New Tab. We've had lots of positive feedback from people on New Tab. Also great feedback on ways we can improve, which we're integrating into this. But we really want to make sure that we're reaching a broad audience of Firefox users, that the content is interesting to all of our users in Firefox, no matter what country they're in. The first thing that we'll be doing is really exploring new ways that we can present that content, both in terms of the way it's laid out, but also with the types of content that we're showing. So the first rounds of this are a few different layouts. I'll talk about that more in a second. But also like trying more topical content and seeing what kinds of things people might be interested in. So this has been a really intense and amazing project. We kicked this off at the end of last year at all hands with folks from the Firefox and Pocket teams. Everyone worked furiously to get this first version into Firefox 66, which as Asa was saying is shipping at the end of this month. So we'll be, one of the cool things that's in that first version is a remotely configurable new tab. So this lets us change some of the layouts and the types of content that displays. This will allow us to do a lot of cool testing up front to understand what people are really liking and engaging with, but also be able to have special sections and that sort of thing throughout the experience. We're going to be running some tests in 66. Our biggest one has 16 different layouts. It's actually 18 different branches for us to try a few of those different layouts together and see how that works. So we'll be sharing more about that experiment, ways that you can try it out in case you don't get selected for that test group, and we'd love your feedback on that.
And just a brief update on Pocket Premium. So our Pocket Premium is undergoing an update, both in product and messaging. This is just a snapshot of what it currently is today, but it hasn't been updated in a while, and with a renewed goal to increase subscriptions, the team has been diving in. One of the first things we realized through research is that our current users don't know that Premium exists or don't know much about what the offering is. So we're currently exploring how to position Premium and create a great value proposition that will drive more users to Premium. We're also working on making sure all of the different features are at parity across web, iOS, and Android. So exciting news that highlights will soon be coming to web. So if you love to read and highlight and you are a Pocket web user, you'll soon be able to highlight on the web. If you ever have questions or just want to chat, you can find us here on the Mozilla Slack with anything you would like to chat about. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nick and Kate. Thank you for that great Pocket update. We look forward to those in the coming months. Finally, we have an opportunity to say hello to a new Mozillian. Neha in Toronto is here to introduce a DOM Vision engineer.
Hi everyone. I'm Neha Kocher. I'm the manager for the DOM Vision team, and I'm here to introduce Annie G, who's just graduated from the University of British Columbia. She was an intern last summer here, and we are happy to welcome her here for the full-time DOM Vision engineer position. Welcome, Annie.
Welcome, Annie. Let's do a quick reload and see if anything else made it onto the agenda. It looks like that's it. So we will see you all next week. Until then, keep on rocking the free web.